Hello everyone, Craig Warrack here with another of my custom action figures, and this time it's the ultimate embodiment of power and evil from the Legend of Zelda. It's Ganon. As a recurring final boss in the Legend of Zelda series, Ganon has had many forms over the years, and what I've tried to do with this figure is blend a lot of those styles together and add in some of my own interpretation. I'm drawing on details from games like the original Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, The Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Hyrule Warriors. So we end up here with the huge mane of red hair, the beard, the pig-like face, the tusks, the horns, the crown on his head, the cloven hoofs and the tail. And the clothing he's wearing is a blend of his Ocarina of Time form and also the cloak he wears when he's in his smaller Ganondorf form in The Wind Waker. Ganon is fully articulated, moving at all the places you would expect a modern figure to move. His head rotates and looks down and up, and his jaw opens and closes. His fingers are individually articulated so that he can hold the staff in his hand, and also his wrists have hinges and swivels to let them articulate, along with a double-jointed elbow, and the flexible cloth part hides shoulder articulation. His waist also swivels and he has a mid-torso joint allowing him to lean back and forward. His legs are also articulated at the ankle, is that? Top of the hoof, whatever. And then further up at his reverse ankle he has a double joint. He also has a swivel in the middle of his calf, allowing it to rotate and better balance him. A double-jointed knee, and under his tunic he has hip articulation. Round the back, Ganon also has a fully articulated tail. I designed what I feel is Ganon's signature weapon, his long trident-like staff. I tried to keep some of the kitschy kookiness with the gold skulls on the weapon, and here I've designed the prongs of his trident as the claws of a defeated Goma. That's one of the big spiders, one of the other bosses from Zelda. And I've bound them to the weapon with a leather cord to make it look a little bit more badass. From these work in progress pictures, some of you may recognise parts of the Pit Build-A-Figure, the Monkey Man Build-A-Figure, and that 18-inch Spider-Man figure that came out along with the Spider-Man 2 movie. After I joined all of those parts together using epoxy glue, I started to sculpt onto it. Here you can see me using Milliput, epoxy putty, to create Ganon's face, slowly building up to the final look. I started drilling holes and pushing wire coat hangers in there so they could act as armatures for his tusks and horns. I then spent a lot of time sculpting the hooves and making sure that they were going to be wide enough to take the weight and balance this heavy figure. And then it was night after night of sculpting fur onto this guy. Also adding in details like his crown, working on the cloth, and for that I made use of an airbrush, masking off parts of white cloth so that I could create this nomadic tribal pattern. I also used for the first time a material called Sugru, and it's sculptable rubber, and that allows me to create these areas like his hair where normally those parts would brush together and rub off any paint, but because it's rubber they flex out of the way, meaning there's no paint rub there. And that's also what I used to make the tail. One thing to note though is that you can't really paint Sugru. You have to buy it in the colours you want and mix and match, blend the colours together to get your final desired look. And then it was down to painting. As ever, I was using Games Workshop paints, but this time I also brought in my airbrush and used some Vallejo paints as well to get the right tones. With this big guy, I had a big canvas and that was a great opportunity to try out some airbrushing techniques. And there we have him, Ganon. He's actually my biggest figure to date, and he barely fits inside the cube in my Detolf. You can see a height comparison here with the Figma Link figure, and also a Nintendo Amiibo figure of Link that some of you may be more familiar with. So there we have him, that's Ganon. He's been on my to-do list for many years, but I finally got round to starting him this year, and it's taken me half a year to get this guy done. So I hope you guys are as happy with him as I am. He's taking pride of place in my personal collection. Thanks for watching, guys. Please remember to like, share and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.